okay before we get started. I'm getting a few little pop-up messages from people saying they're having some trouble logging on, that it's kicking them out. A couple little peeps. All right, well, hopefully everyone can see me okay and hear me okay, and we'll record it just in case, because I just got a couple of messages from people saying that they were having trouble. Hi, Trish, how are you doing? All right. So we're going to get started. I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit tonight about some really cool stuff that we're doing to help people who are wanting to maybe be more involved and then also to earn a little bit more income. So I thought I would go over all the stuff that you need to know to become an advocate, what it entails, and what's really cool about it. And you'll have to forgive me, I'm just a little bit sleep deprived. So as we go through all of this, hopefully I'll be able to keep it all straight and answer all your questions. So, hey everybody. We are going to be recording this, and we will put this up inside your patient account. And I'm having a shake right now. Actually, I mixed it with ice, so it's almost like ice cream, actually. It's like soft serve almost. So that's my supper. So I thought I would start out by actually going through a document, a new guide that most of you would not have seen, because this is new from, from recently, so far after you guys had your surgery. So I thought I would go through it so it'll give you an idea of what we do and what we're about, and when you're talking to people, things and information that you can share with them. And then I thought we would talk really quickly about how to talk to people about weight loss surgery and how to get people that you wind up sharing your experience with, how to be able to direct them to your own website so that when they do fill out the candidate form from your website, it automatically gets credited to you and you automatically get paid. So really, really simple and cool way of doing it. So if you haven't done your website yet, actually, I'll give you a little, this isn't the, how do I do this to make it bigger, guys? This is the mock-up that our IT did. Yeah, you can approach people, but you have to be really careful how you do it. So we'll kind of talk about that a little bit. This is what your replica, it's called a replica website, so it has your name on it when you create it. And it has your story in it, so you can explain your story, your before and your after, why you had surgery. And then, of course, it has the link to the candidate form. Oh, there's Barb. Hi, Barb. There's your picture in the mock-up. And it describes everything that you would like them to know. You can make it as long as you want or as short as you want. And whenever you give someone that website, so it'll be WLFmedical.ca and then your name. So for example, Barb Hine or Trish Gavin, and you would share that with anyone you were talking to. And so when they go to sign up, when they sign up through WLFmedical.ca/Trish Gavin, then it automatically gets credited to you and you will automatically get paid. And we're going to talk a little bit about the pay, because that's really cool. And let's be honest, money is still important, right? In fact, maybe we'll do this now. Signing up, if you haven't signed up to create your own website, really, really easy to do. You're just going to go to advocates.wlfmedical.ca and it will prompt you. One thing you have to be aware of is, because our database recognizes you from email, you do have to use a new email or a different email than the one you have for your patient account. So you'll have to use a different email to log in and save. You can just create a Hotmail account if you want to and have it forward to your regular email, but you do need to use a different email in order to set up your own account. And then there you go. This is approximately what it will look like. It looks a little bit differently than that, but I'm not able to share my screen tonight. When I was testing it, the screen sharing wasn't working. So I'm using the mock-up that our IT team had done. So when you do it, you can add your own pictures. You can do all of that. So for an advocate, what is an advocate really? Well, an advocate is someone who feels really comfortable talking about their own experience having weight loss surgery. Obviously, they're not in the closet about having weight loss surgery. It's not a big secret. And they're able to talk to people about what it was like to have surgery with WLF. And they're able to share with people their own experience and share with people their own website to help people be able to sign up. No worries at all, Pat. No worries. Hi, everybody that's online. I see lots of you online. No, I'm not seeing lots of you chat, but you can go ahead and ask questions as we're going along. We are recording, so if there's anything you missed, don't worry. We're going to put it up in patient accounts. So I was just saying, you have your own replicated website. So you can have your website would be your name. So it would be wlfmedical.yourname. So Michelle, if it was yours, for example, hi, then it would be wlfmedical.Michelle Nystrom. And then you would be able to share that, and you would share it with anyone. And when they sign up through the candidate form off your website, it automatically gets credited to you so that when they do have surgery, you automatically get paid. So it's a really cool system. It's a really great way for you to be able to engage with people that you're speaking to directly and help them to sign up directly on your own site. What's really nice about it is you can create your site live. You can create it right on your phone, or you can create it on your laptop. It's mobile friendly, and you just go to advocates.wlfmedical.ca. And if you ever forget, if you haven't created your site yet and you forget, just send us an email and we'll send you the link directly. So advocates.wlfmedical.ca. What's great about being an advocate is it's really about referring people. It's really about giving people the support, the information that they need to know to make an informed decision. And I don't know how many of you are aware that CBC Radio this morning did a story on bariatric surgery, and they actually interviewed a patient who had horrific complications going to Mexico. Now, the rest of the story that you guys don't all know is that particular patient and her sister applied for surgery with WLF Medical and were actually declined for medical reasons. And they weren't very happy with our response, and they actually went and had surgery with an unsafe, cheaper competitor that didn't do any of the preoperative checking that we do, and of course had devastating results afterwards. And we stayed in touch with them through, afterwards, and in fact helped provide some information to their legal team. So really, really awful situation for them. But that's one of the reasons why our complication rate is so low, is not just that Dr. Pompa is absolutely incredible, and not just that we're an international center of excellence, and our data every single month goes to the International Center of Excellence. So we're the only program in Mexico. It's only if you're an International Center of Excellence in Mexico that complications can even be tracked. So in Canada, if there's a complication, of course it gets tracked, and that becomes part of the data that is collected. In Mexico, that doesn't exist unless, of course, you're with WLF and you have surgery through an International Center of Excellence like WLF is. So that information goes every month, and because it's a third party, it's through the American Society of Metabolic and Bariatric Surgery, through the Surgical Review Corporation. Because of that, it's vetted by an independent third party. So it's the only way for people to really know what the complication rate is. And I'm about to blow your minds, and I wish that I had a graph to show you guys, but we're working actually on a little information video that Robin's been working on, and we're going to have that for you guys really soon. But the interesting research that just came out from University of Alberta study yesterday actually is that between 42 and 56% of people who are going to these discount surgery places in Mexico are coming back with complications. So almost half. So when you think about that, it's just extraordinary, absolutely extraordinary. And then you compare that to the level of safety that we have. And that's why people really need to know that they can have weight loss surgery, that they can change their lives, and they can do it in a way that's not just safe, but is even safer than anywhere in Canada. There is nowhere in Canada that is a safer place to have surgery than at our International Center of Excellence Hospital. And I think for any of you that are have been on site, for example, as an on-site coach already, and of course all of you who have had surgery already, you already know that from your own experience. So what's so great about being an advocate is that you can actually earn income on your own time, just as you're chatting with people and talking to people about your own experience and sharing your own experience with them. You're able to change lives, and then you're able to use that as a starting point to take the training to become a coach. So our training certification program, you guys are going to be able to take starting next month, and you'll actually be able to get your full certification to become a coach if that's something that you would like to do. It's all self-driven. That's awesome. I'm so excited to hear that. And you would be amazing at it. You would be amazing at it. But the first start is to be an advocate. And really what an advocate does is you make people feel very comfortable with the choice of having surgery. And Trish, you had just asked, you know, can you approach people or talk to people? Well, obviously you can't go up to people and say, hey, you look like you could lose 100 pounds, right? But you definitely can open up about your own experience. And I do this all the time, every day, every moment. As you guys know, I work a lot of hours, and I do travel a lot. And every time I meet other business leaders, every time I meet, whether it's the premier of one of the provinces or whether I'm meeting one of the former dragons from the Dragon's Den, the first thing that I do, it's part of my elevator pitch, is that I'm a bariatric patient, that I used to weigh 100 pounds more than I do now. And it's essentially how I introduce myself to everyone I come across. Hi, I'm Melanie Wildman. And then, what do you do? Blah, blah, blah. Ask them a couple of questions. And then when they ask me what I do, I always say, actually, I'm a bariatric patient, and I'm the founder and CEO of WLF Medical. We're the largest private bariatric program in Canada, but I'm also a patient. I used to weigh 100 pounds more than I do now. And without what's the word I'm looking for? Without every single person, that's what I'm trying to say. This is what happens when you're sleep deprived. Every single person that I say this to is always amazed. They're always amazed at how far you've come. And they're always like, what? I can't believe that. And then you start to tell your story and they start to really open up with you. And that's really how you're able to share it. And what I recommend for all of you is get business cards. If you don't have them, we can make them up for you. You can order them from Vistaprint. Have some cards on you at all times so that you can hand it out to people and say, so in my example, when I say to people, we've had some extraordinary people that you guys don't even know, that we can't talk about, that have had weight loss surgery at our hospital. People that are very well known and wouldn't like it at all. People knew. And the way they've come across it is just by meeting me, typically on airplanes or in the lounge at airports. And that's exactly what I do. I hand out my card to everyone. And I say right away, I'm so proud of the fact that I'm a bariatric patient. And people will say things like, you know what, my sister-in-law really could use this. Is it okay if I share this with my sister-in-law? Yeah, absolutely. And that's what you want to do. And on your card, Trish, if your card doesn't have your website on it, get new cards. It's like it's not very expensive to get cards. We'll do up a template even for you. Get new cards that has your website on it with your name. So it says, Kim Tracci, Trish Gavin. So it has your actual address right on it, because that's where people are going to go. You don't want to send them just to the WLF site. You want them to go to WLF/Trish Gavin. And then they're going to be able to create an account and sign up from there. You'll get notified when they sign up through you, and you're able to continue that conversation with them. So you want them to have your email address, and then most importantly, you want them to have your address. Now, what's really cool about this, and I want to show you guys this for a minute, is we're doing something a little bit differently, and I'm going to share with you the reason why. But when you look at this, what we've tried to do is for people that are really out there and they're chatting with people a lot and they're really sharing their cards and people are signing up, then even if those people haven't had surgery yet, you're going to get paid more the more you're sharing. Does that make sense to everybody? So, for example, you can see 5 confirmed referrals per month from your site. All that means is that you've shared your site with at least 5 people that month. That's all that means. So if you're the kind of person that doesn't really talk about it very much, but your friend happens to go for surgery, then you're going to earn $250 when that person has surgery. But if you're a go-getter, right? Like I know, Trish, or I'm going to call out Maureen for a minute, and you're really talking to lots of people and you're handing out your card and they go and they fill it out, even if they never have surgery, when someone does, you're going to wind up getting paid a lot more. So it's a way for us to be able to compensate you for the time that you're taking chatting with people. Does that sort of make sense? Because my way of thinking is if you're really trying and you're putting yourself out there and you're enthusiastic and you're putting in the effort, my way of thinking is you should get paid more. And so that's exactly what it's all about. So you reach Emerald when at least 5 people a month on average are signing or at least connecting through your website, right? When they fill out the candidate form through your website. Yeah, heck yeah. Tell everybody. I tell everybody I have weight loss surgery. I never tell someone they need weight loss surgery, but I definitely find ways, and I can give you some examples. I definitely find ways to chat with people about it all the time. I love it. We've had wives of NHL players and CFL players. We've had their wives have surgery simply because I ran into them in airports and different places where I just chatted and shared my story. I've been at the weirdest places where you share where you've been and people are really, really interested. You give them their card, that's exactly where they're going to go. They're going to go right away to the address that's on your card, especially when you tell them to. So then when you have extra people going through for surgery, so like I just mentioned, it doesn't matter. If you talk to 10 people and those 10 people all sign up on your website, we're going to average that out. You're going to make way more money than if you only talk to one person. Okay? Does that make sense to everybody? The second part is the more people that you have actually having surgery, you're going to get additional bonuses. So you're actually going to make more money. So for every 3 people that go ahead and have surgery that signed up through your site, you're going to get a bonus on top of your regular pay of $150. So if you averaged, say, five or more people a month signing up through creating the candidate form right through your website, and then 3 of them wind up having surgery, doesn't matter the time frame, you're going to get an extra bonus of $150. And so on. If you wind up at the Emerald level, you're actually going to get a bonus of $500 on top of your 3 people. So that's really cool. Now, the other thing that I wanted to share with you guys that I think is really, really neat that we're doing until the end of May. We're only doing it as a trial period because I'm really interested in tracking the data. You guys all know I'm a big data freak. I love tracking everything. Right now, as you know, we pay for advertising as a company. So we pay for advertising in order to reach people, whether that's on Facebook, whether that's on Google, right? Whether it's in traditional media, we pay for advertising. So what I would like to do is run a little experiment between now. Stats Canada does want me, and actually we have way more statistics on how people do with bariatric surgery than what any of the provinces have right now. That's another story. So what I want to do is run a little experiment, and I want to see when, instead of giving our ad money to Facebook and Google and magazines that we're running our ads in right now, that instead, what if we try and see what it's like to pay you guys a little bit more and see if that's sustainable, if that's cost effective. We don't know the answer to that. We know for sure that the plan I just showed you guys is. So what we're doing is an experiment. So from now till the end of May, when you sign up to be an advocate, anyone that signs up through your site that goes on to have surgery, the starting pay is actually going to be, instead of $250 a surgery, it's going to be $500 a surgery. So we're basically reallocating what we're spending on advertising to you guys. And we're going to just test it and see how it works. If it doesn't work out and it's way more cost effective as a company to continue advertising more traditionally, then we're going to have to, at the end of May, we're going to go back to the 250. But for now, from now until May, the base amount is going to be 500, and then you can earn more from there. Does that make sense to everybody? How does that sound? Does that sound good to everybody? It's really amazing. So when you're chatting with someone, if they wind up, it's a great way to earn extra money. Imagine if you chatted with people and 2 people a month had surgery, that's an extra $1,000 a month in your pocket. So I wanted to show you, this is a guide. Now we're getting these printed, so you're going to be able to get some of these to actually give out to people that you're chatting with. Maureen, it's going to be on a case-by-case basis with that. So it's going to depend on, so for example, if someone who is already referred and they're already in the site, but they haven't done anything, they haven't gone forward, they haven't had surgery, and we can confirm with them that you talked to them, we would totally honor that. So I don't want to be super black and white and say, like, obviously the rule is they're supposed to go through your site because that's the easiest way to manage it, but we're also a pretty compassionate group of people and we try to do the right thing. So, right? Yeah. So this is the guide, and what's great about the guide, I'm going to go through, I'm going to explain it really briefly because I don't want to like go on all night. You know me, you guys know I can talk. But it starts out with the obstacles for people who need weight loss surgery, and the reason why it does that is it helps people who maybe already have a bit. Yeah, you sure can. You totally print that. And I'll actually put the link. It's up on the website. If you go to issue, I believe it's issuu.com, Canadian Health. Now I'm going off memory, but I'm pretty sure, or like and I've got extra. Let's try again. .com, Canadian Health. Okay, that should work. If it doesn't, don't worry. I will post the full site for you guys. So the obstacles for people who need weight loss surgery. So number one is obviously financial. Now, one of the things that I'm really learning about, about financial is the costs are really low to have weight loss surgery compared to dieting, compared to any of the alternatives that are out there. So we really want to acknowledge where people are coming from. Fear, people have an outsized fear of bariatric surgery. People are worried that they should be able to do it themselves. There's lots of negative press, like I mentioned, CBC again this morning. Sorry, this is me going off memory. Hold on just 1 minute, Trish, because I think it's important. Let me grab the actual one and I'll post it right in here for all of you, and then it will be in there like it should be. Here we go. Pretty close. It's pretty close. Let's get back here. There we go. Now we got it. Now we got it. That is the real McCoy. That is the right link. That is the right link. So as you see, as you go through, there's also, once you go through sort of the common misgivings that people have about weight loss surgery, then we talk, there's a letter from me where I explain where WLF started from. We started as a support group, that I am a bariatric patient, that we're the only program in Canada that was actually started by a bariatric patient. And we also have in here what the benefits of bariatric surgery are. So you can see all of the health improvements from bariatric surgery. Then the next page that's going to be really important for you guys to be able to know and share with people is the waiting lists across Canada. So for example, British Columbia, the real wait list is actually 28 years for bariatric surgery. And you can see, Alberta does 500 surgeries a year, which is 5 times better than Saskatchewan, but they have almost 500,000 people on their waiting list. In fact, across Canada, fewer than 1% of the people who apply for bariatric surgery through a provincial program are accepted. I'm going to repeat that just so you guys realize how awful it is. Less than 1% of the people who apply for weight loss surgery in Canada are accepted by their provincial programs. Of the 1% who are accepted, their average wait times are between 5 and 13 years. Still. Okay. Plus, it's not as safe. It's not as safe as here. Over 6 years just to get a consult. It's appalling. There's no other word for it. It's just appalling. So if you look at what the mortality rate is at an international center of excellence, just like WLF, our mortality rate is actually 3 times lower than the mortality rate at a non-center of excellence hospital in the United States. But this is where it gets really amazing. A non-accredited center in the United States is still twice as safe as in Canada. Canada, according to the study that just came out last week, over 6% complication rate. It's half of that in the United States, and then it's 3 times lower than that for an international center of excellence. So when you start to look at the numbers, it's extraordinary. And then for people that are thinking about a discount surgery, it's even scarier. We're talking almost half of everyone who goes to Mexico and goes to a non-accredited, non-center of excellence comes back with a serious complication. That is absolutely outrageous. We are, Maureen, you're going to have this, so you can, we're getting these printed, we'll send you some. And you can have these to hand out, keep them in your purse. But also we are doing a explainer video, which Robin has been working on. It's really, really cool. Have you guys seen those whiteboard videos? That's what it is. It's one of those whiteboard explainer videos. So you can see here that when patients follow a support program like ours, where they know what to do, where they know what to eat, where they have all of that, we can get all that together for you, Trish, no problem. When they do all of that, they lose twice as much weight. And the research shows that over 5 years, patients without a support program lose 57 pounds compared to those with a support program lose 113 pounds. So even if you're having surgery in Canada, a lot of provincial programs, they have lots of hoops to jump through before having surgery, but they have almost no support after surgery. And that's what's really important. And then, of course, your complication rates are so much lower when you have a strict preoperative period. That's why ours is so much stricter than anybody else's, and that's why our complication rate is so low. It's one of the reasons why our complication rate is so low. So then, of course, you have our success guides. Yeah, and exactly, and the food guide. You have your success coach, and as I mentioned, you guys can take your certification and become success coaches yourselves, which I think would be absolutely amazing. We also have the NutriSmart plan, and it is tied to Nutricell, but even if you're not using Nutricell, it is a great resource for people. Our last support group, actually last week, was all about these: emotional eating, night eating, bingers, grazers, volume eaters, foodaholics, and how you can really work with your eating habits, with the way that you cope with stress, or with your own habits in order to continue losing weight. As I mentioned, designated centers of excellence have 3 times fewer mortalities than non-accredited U.S. hospitals, which in turn are twice. How am I trying to say this? Canada has twice as many complications as a non-accredited U.S. hospital for bariatric patients, and then of course we have 3 times less than U.S. non-accredited hospitals. I wanted to show you also excess weight loss so that you can see the difference. So the ASMBS is the average through the American Society of Metabolic and Bariatric Surgery, and as you can see, the difference in weight loss is extraordinary. Over 2 years, a WLF patient can expect to lose about 97% of their excess weight. So in other words, the weight between when they're overweight and obese, whereas through the ASMBS, they're looking at 77%. So pretty extraordinary differences in outcome. As I mentioned as well about support. Without any support when you're on your own, you don't know what to eat, you don't know what to do, you don't know what you're supposed to do for your post-op, you don't know what you're supposed to do for your pre-op, you don't have anyone to really talk to. Those people lose 57 pounds compared to 113 pounds. So huge difference in outcome. And of course, diet and exercise, 6.6 pounds if you stick with it for 2 years. So, we're not talking about a lot of weight if you're not having surgery. So right now we have a question mark, and we're updating this. So when it goes to print, you'll have the updated copy because of that study in Canada where they looked at the people who are coming back from surgery in Mexico, half were coming back with complications. So you can see the overall rate in the US, the overall rate at the Center of Excellence, the overall rate for WLF, and of course the latest study that just came out showed the overall for Canada is actually higher now. It's 6.2 instead of 5.3. And then for weight loss surgery in Mexico, almost half. Then we have the guides for your family physicians. We have a guide for physicians. Then we also have decision-making guide for physicians. And I know, Trish, you mentioned, can we get some packages together for your family doctor? Absolutely. When you do that, make sure that you give your business cards, a stack of them, to your doctor so that when they are giving information to their patients, they can be referring them to you, to your site. That's what you want to be doing. Same thing, on-site success coaches. I know some of you that are online right now are amazing on-site coaches. Right now, we have a waiting list of people who want to be on-site coaches. I'm throwing it out there. I know all of you want to do it because you're so compassionate and you're so wonderful, but also it doesn't hurt that the weather's a lot nicer. But I know we had a lot of applications and it's been insane. We have a really, really long waiting list for it. So then we have information in the guide here for people when they want to bring a companion. Then we have information about what they can expect in their patient account. Of course, information about what their pre-op looks like, getting ready for their surgery. And then, of course, what their post-op is. So all of that information in there. Then we've got information on this is something that Davey and Craig on our IT team are just coming out with here right away, which are success points. So patients are going to be able to continue earning points as they meet their own goals and track their own progress. So we're pretty excited about that. And then the cost for financing right now, the cost at 5% interest is $221 a month. And that's everything that they need in order to have surgery. So it's really, really affordable. When you think about what people are spending on, well, really almost anything, it's extremely affordable, especially for something that actually works, as you guys are all a testament to. And then these are all the things that are included with their surgery, so they're able to see that compared to anything else. Exactly. And it's a tax deduction. Exactly. And then, of course, we got to put in a little bit about our Nutri. Got some exciting news tonight. One of our couple super fans. One of our fans who's been using it now for almost a month is a fellow named Matt McGrath, and he's the #1 ranked MMA fighter in Canada. And he said that since he's been using our protein, all of his pains have gone away, and he's been able to bring his training up to another level. He's in the best shape he's ever been in his life. He's so excited. He's actually shooting a video. He wants to shoot a video testimonial because he so loves what we're doing with Nutricell, and he so loves how it's changed everything for how he's been training. Shooting a video for his next week where he's going to be talking about using it. So really, really cool there. And then one of the dragons, I can't say yet, but one of the dragons is also a super fan, and that dragon is going to be giving away one of our kits on their Twitter feed to all of their followers because they are a super fan of what we're doing. Super fan of what we're doing. So really, really cool. And then, of course, joining our team as an advocate. And then this is one of our patients, Dr. LaRue. He's a doctor in Saskatoon there's all sorts of blogs and stories about him as well. Really great for family doctors to be able to see. We have a ton of doctors who have had surgery with us, a ton of doctors. So all sorts of different specialties. And And that's simply because of the safety, because doctors know that an international center of excellence is where you need to have surgery. So I wanted to give you the highlights and kind of go over all of that. We're going to make sure that you guys have copies of this so you can hand out to people. And then we really want you guys to get your own business card, like I said, with your own address on it, and really talk to people. And the way to do it, like I mentioned, you know, when I was answering Trish's question, is to really share your own story, because our stories as bariatric patients are extraordinary. They all are extraordinary. And when you tell people how far you've come and you show people your before picture, it blows their minds. It blows their minds. You guys all know that this has happened. So when you're out and about, when you're, you know, getting the mail, when you're chatting with someone, that's when you want to compliment someone. You want to get to know them a little bit, start asking them questions. Is that your little guy? You know, do you come here very often? Wherever it is that you happen to be, and then you share your own story. So what do? Oh, I do this, and I'm an advocate for, you know, for WLF Medical. In fact, I was actually a patient. I used to weigh, you know, 100 pounds, 180 pounds, 60 pounds, more than I did before. Here's my actual picture. And people are like, whoa, that is so cool. And then you can follow up with them, give them the card, and then set up a time to chat with them if they're interested. So that's really how you go about doing it, is sharing your story, because that's what people love. That's what people love. Do you guys have any questions? I've kind of covered a lot for you guys, but yeah, if you just approach about your own story, you can't go wrong. Another thing that's really great to do is you can go ahead and post on Kijiji. Kijiji is free, and as long as you're posting a local ad, you can do that. So you could set up little information sessions in your own area, or even offer a support group in your own area. We can give you the material for that. And if you wanted to do that, you can go ahead and do it, set it up for free. It's a great way to get referrals. It's a great way to introduce and meet people who are thinking about doing it. We have so many, we got everything, PowerPoint presentations, we got documents, we got handouts. You guys can't even believe how much stuff we have for all of you for support group. Yeah. So if you guys want to do that, it's a great way of doing it and getting your story out there. All right, we're going to save this. This is all recorded, so we're going to save it. We're going to put it all up in your accounts, and we'll send it out so you guys all have it. If you have any questions at all over the next couple of days, just fire off an email. Send an email to me, melanie@wlfmedical.ca, and I will get back to you. If for some reason I don't, if it winds up in my spam folder, or I happen to get like, 100 emails all pop in at the same time and I just missed yours in between, if I don't get back to you within 2 days, really within 24 hours, let's be real. If I don't get back to you within 24 hours, resend it. And I will. I promise you, I'll feel bad and I'll respond. So send me an email. I got to come soon. I would love to come to Halifax. I would love to come to Halifax. Yeah. All right, you guys. I would love to meet you too. That would be awesome. I hope you guys have an awesome night tonight. And I would love to see you all do really, really well as an advocate. I'm going to go ahead and get this all recorded and up into your accounts for you as well. And then once again, you got questions, send me an email. I'm more than happy. All right, everybody, have a good night. Make sure you set up your own website if you haven't done it, advocates.wlfmedical.ca. Make sure you set up your own website. Bye, guys.